Welcome to Seeing Scarlet. It is Shelby here with Tyler, and we're here for our Monday recap episode. We told you on Friday we're going to have a couple episodes a week. So here you go. This week we're recapping football. That's going to be a big part of it because that is the one we got to watch. They took down Arkansas-Pine Bluff, who was horrible, Tyler. So there's not many takeaways that you can really just run to the bank with. I'm going to be honest. But we got some fun takeaways. We'll get into that. The storm was crazy. Volleyball started their season 2-1. I couldn't really watch it because it was on Flow Sports, but Tyler maybe got a little bit of viewing in, so he can talk about that a little bit. But we got stats for you and what's ahead. They played Duke and Georgia this week, so that is fun for volleyball. In soccer, we recapped their Thursday shutout over SMU. So if you're here looking for that, we actually did that on Friday's episode. So just hop back one, highlights all the things we normally do. In this episode, we're going to preview their game with New Mexico State on Thursday. Don't sleep on this team. I'm just saying they played. We will be their fifth Power 4 opponent in a row for New Mexico State. Their non-con has been insane, so they're very battle tested, and we'll be used to playing athletes of our caliber. So that'll be interesting on the road. We're going to get it done, though, right? So we're going to do that. Before we get into that, hey, give us a like and a subscribe. Drop a comment down there below. I feel like, again, we're one of the only ones, if not the only podcast that covers all the sports. So if that's what you come here for, we're going to give it to you. And we'd appreciate it if you subscribe and comment and all the things that helps us keep growing and able to do this and not just focus on one sport. We're never going to do that, but it's always helpful when y'all are doing those things. Speaking of, before I flip it over to Tyler for some football takes, some breaking news on basketball just came out earlier today. Men's basketball added Latrell Hoover, a 7-foot center from like Schertz, Texas or something like that. I'd never heard of the town. He is eligible to play this year. He is on the team. He's on campus now. Wild to add somebody on September 1st, but that's where we are. The backstory there is he was planning to just go do a prep year at like a training academy that some players do where they don't go right from high school to there because he's a very developmental player is what I was told. I believe red shirt is the idea with him. But hey, if you can find a 7-footer to give you a little depth, you never know if you're going to need him or not. But I think the plan is to redshirt him and kind of let him do his academy prep year just at Texas Tech instead of being there. And then you already have him on the roster and he's in the system and knows everything. So that's the idea. If you will or won't see him this year, doesn't sound like that's the plan, but you never know. So that's men's basketball. There's news all over the internet on that, but fun looking player, tall, lanky as a 7-footer, just needs a lot of development. So I love a good dart throw at a tall person. Same thing with women's basketball. Like if you're tall and can walk, run, I'm like, bring them over. Let's see what turns out, you know? So you're here for that. And then speaking of women's basketball, there are 2 commits that they got this summer, Mariah Douglas and Jada Kearney. I will be speaking with them soon, so there should be like a written type interview out with them soon on River Sports. You can catch that. And then, of course, we'll summarize it or something on here once it's out there publicly. But I'm excited to talk to them. Those are 2 solid pickups. And then there could be some more news on women's basketball coming soon. We'll see. I think they have a nice visitor coming, maybe a 4-star recruit coming in a couple of weeks for a visit. They had some local talents on unofficial visits at the football game the other day. So women's basketball is working. I'll just leave it there. But keep your eyes peeled for the women's basketball team when it comes to recruiting, Tyler.
Yeah, I actually saw Coach Gurlitt, Coach Giroux,
Okay.
Coach Boyd. They were all there. I'm sure the other coaches were, but those were the 3 I saw. Got to hug them and talk to them for a little bit. So I was really excited to see women's basketball's presence. Coach McCaslin for men's basketball was there. It was a whole party at the football stadium the other day. I hate that we had that rain delay. We could only do 8-minute quarters. But for UAPB's sake, I think they were glad that we only we cut the game in half because we might have gotten to 100. I don't know.
Yeah, 67-7. We can't escape the 6-7 thing now that we've learned about it. It's following us everywhere.
It
I was
is.
dying when they were panning around the crowd and they were doing it. And I was on the alumni side because I wasn't working this game. For the rest of the games, I'll be in the press box. But it was nice to get one game in where I could be a fan. And so I'm on the alumni side. Nobody understands what's happening. And I'm like, hey, I actually know what this is now. So I was like teaching them. I was like, just ask your kids. They're going to know. They're going to think you're real smart when you go home and do this to them, or they're going to laugh at you. But yeah, anyway, 67-7 football. Crazy storm rolled in. I didn't realize it was that scary looking because if you were not up as high as like in the press box, you couldn't see
Yeah,
or
you
the
couldn't tell.
scary looking cloud. We were like, oh, that's pretty dark. But like I had no idea it was as traumatizing
Yeah.
as it was when I saw the pictures later. I was like, oh, that's why the PA announcer was like, hey, y'all are going to die. Get out of here. I was like, it doesn't look that bad to me. So we just stayed through the end of the half and then left, went, got some Chick-fil-A and came back after the delay was over and watched the end of the game. But like I said, there's not really any true takeaways, if I'm being honest, because Arkansas-Pine Bluff, I don't want to say they're not any good because maybe they are good at their level when they play. I think they're an FCS school and they play their teams of the same level. Perhaps they are good. I haven't looked at their history, but they're not a Power 4 opponent, and it was clear from like snap one that this was going to be a massacre. But we said last week that's what we wanted to see, Tyler, and they did that. As we said, we wanted to see our D line look like it was supposed to against a team of this caliber, and my goodness, the disruption from the jump. They were murdering people. Did they get your approval? Because I know that was your big question, is like, does our D-line actually look big? I told you they did in practice, but did you see it?
Oh yeah. No, the minute that they came out for warm-ups, I think my jaw was just on the floor. I was like, wait, we look like a
that was
top
me in
25
March
football team.
At the first spring practice I went to, I was like, oh wow, football practice, finally.
It was just, yeah, it was shocking. But yeah, they did their job. I mean, the entire night. I mean, we basically almost held them scoreless up until the end, which, give that whatever. It was a crazy catch that they were able to make.
Offensive pass interference. I'm just saying it.
Yes, yes, that's what it should have been. I was right there in the end zone. I saw it with my own eyes.
5 feet out of the way, and the ref was just like, "Oh, the score's out. I'm not gonna blow it. Let me throw a flag. Whatever. Justice for whoever that guy was." Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, no, it definitely looked great. And then on like the offensive end, I mean, I don't think we punted the entire game. We scored on every possession.
One field goal and the rest were touchdowns. That's
nuts. That's pretty good, if you ask me. I mean, it's UAPB, but that's still pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, and I think Barron had like 4 touchdowns in the first half, and I think the box score said only a couple of incompletions. I don't know if that's been updated. I think that was incorrect, but still, he didn't have very many incompletions, and he only had like 200 yards and 4 touchdowns because he was starting past midfield every time. Because our defense was either pushing them far back, their punter was not great, and it was shanking it. I think the first punt was like for 8 yards, and then we scored like 4 plays later. And then the next time they punted, we blocked it.
Yeah.
Fun fact on that one. By McCall Harrison Pilot. It was his first ever time on the punt return team. This is per his dad on Twitter, so take it or leave it. But he said this is his first ever time on the punt return team, and he blocked the punts. So
cool.
Doing his job out there. He's a redshirt sophomore. And then we scored on one play after that to my guy Terrence Carter. Tried to warn you.
Called it.
Tried to warn you.
That's why you watch us. We know what we're talking about.
I'm sure I'm not the only person. I don't know. I've been the only person that said that he was going to lead us in touchdowns this year. I might have been the only person that said that. And he led us in touchdowns in the first game because he had 2 in that on just 3 receptions. 2 of them were touchdowns. That's kind of like how I see him as a red zone guy. Big dude, but he scored. Reggie Virgil started off the game with a touchdown, right? I like that guy as well. He's a fun cat. And then they just spread it around. Like, it was very all over the place. Corey Aiken had a touchdown. Caleb Douglas didn't get a touchdown, but he still had like over 40 yards. Leighton Stone got his first career touchdown. Tom Stone's son. We covered soccer around here, so that was fun to see. And then also Bryson. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name? Bryson something or other. Another freshman got his first career touchdown as well in that game. Maybe you can pull up the box score and see it. I don't want to say it wrong, but it's Bryson. Got his first one. So, yeah, they spread their wealth around, and they did the damn thing. Bryson Jones, that's right. Yeah, he's also a true freshman. So you got to see kind of the youth go. And Joey said that after the game that was the plan. He's like, hey, we knew we were going to do well in this game. That was the plan. And then to get the second and third and fourth string guys in there, because we didn't get to do that last year during the non-con because our games were closer than they should have been in the non-con last year. So they didn't get to play a lot of depth players and get them experience. And Joey was honest. He was like, in this day and age, you have to be constantly evaluating what you have. Mm-hmm. So you know, like, who you're going to keep and who you're not going to keep. He didn't say that part, but read between the lines because of the transfer portal. He's like, you need to be doing constant evaluation of the talent on your team, and this gave him the chance to do that. Was kind of the general gist. So I respect that. I get that. Next week's opponent, which we'll talk about on Friday, isn't going to help them get better either, but it will help probably more of that. So there's that. I'm here for it. Get some playing time, I suppose. If it works, it works. You just got to trust the process at this point.
Yeah, I mean, definitely these, smaller teams, maybe you can iron out more of like, your plays, get some more logistics done. But I mean, I thought we saw some good things. Obviously, the running back position, it wasn't necessarily a question mark 'cause we knew that we had a lot of depth in the sense, but it would just be like different pieces would have to show up, and I felt like that happened. Definitely Dickey's going to be the person that you're going to see, having to push through the line and find some gaps and get open. But Jacoby Williams, I mean.
Athlete.
Wow. I was so impressed. He was explosive. You give him some space. I mean, he was fast. He did that touchdown where he like hopped over the guy. Like, I
He
was very
hurdled.
impressed. I'm not worried about the running back position at all. Like,
Yeah.
they are going to come in clutch. That was really fun to watch. And then also Adam Hill, he had 78
hmm
yards himself and a touchdown, I believe. So
I
he
think we
looked
talked
great as
about him
well.
last week too. That he's a.
Yes.
I think I said he's a walk on, but he won't be a walk on for long. He'll have a scholarship probably next year, is my guess. But he's from a small 2A school, Albany, I think is where he's from, and he just murdered people at that level, as you can imagine. So he walked on here, but yeah, I think the only concern with running back is depth. It's like you've already
Yes.
lost one. These are the three guys you have. They moved a defensive back over to be a running back. He's the fourth string on the team right now. He didn't get any time in this, but like if something happens, he's all of a sudden getting time. So that's the only concern with the running backs when you lost Quentin Jordan. And Quentin Jordan is kind of like a combination. He could have done all of that, but now
Right.
you just have different facets of the different guys. So yeah, Jacoby, I put in a tweet 3-time hurdle champion because that's what his bio says. I went and checked it, but someone replied and said he was a 4-time state champion in hurdles and he won a state championship in triple jump, which you saw because he
Wow.
like floated in the
Yes.
air.
Yeah,
He was
that
like
was light
running on
work
the
for
air.
him.
It was like long jump, triple jumper there. So yeah, he was fun. Other standouts: Skyler Gill-Howard.
Oh,
I love this
wow.
man
Yes.
from the jump. He was just terrorizing folks. And after the game, he was just giddy. Like he was in the press conference and he was just so happy to be here, Tyler. And he literally said, putting basically a whole new team together in January. It was just amazing to get out there and play a game. That's why I still have this jersey on. I don't want to take it off because I love being a Red Raider. Skyler, love this. He said it's just amazing to see how far we've come as a team, and we brought in a lot of new guys to get out there in front of 60,000 plus and show the world what we're proving to ourselves and not what anybody else is expecting of us is just a great feeling. What a quote.
What
I
a quote.
mean, boom. He also gave a pregame speech where he basically just told the team, like, hey, we don't get this moment back. We'll have other games. We don't get this game back. Look at this crowd. Like, go out there and give it all you have. It's kind of like he was hyping up the team before the game. So if fans didn't already love him, I think obviously he's going to be a fun one. He's probably a 1-year player. I think he's a senior. He's one of those transfers that came in. He's from Northern Illinois, I believe, or something like that. He played at. So he's played on the road in really big games because they like upset Notre Dame last year. Remember? He was
Oh,
on that
yes.
team. So
Yes.
he's played at Notre Dame and been a part of big games, but he's never had the home crowd atmosphere where they're cheering for him. That was the first time where he like looked around like these people are cheering for me. And Terrence Carter was in the post game, and he was kind of the same thing. Like he played at Louisiana, and they played on the road in some big environments, but those people are not cheering for them. So it was cool for those players to get that in. Defensively, they had one turnover from Ameir Boyd. A fun note on him that I just noticed and read into, so take my opinion for what it is, but I noticed on the first drive of the game, he made a tackle, but it was like a far out, like a pass to the boundary against his guy, and if he had his head up, he could have pick sixed it. Like that's my opinion, and from where I was watching, I was like, if he just went, he would have picked sixed it, and for some reason he hesitated and then just tackled the guy. He didn't even break out the pass. But it was like third down, so they punted the ball. He comes off the field. You can tell he's a little upset at himself. And then his probably position coach, some coach was getting him for it. And I was like, okay, well, so I'm not wrong. It was like coaching him up like he should. And he's like, yeah, I got you, coach. And like they were talking for a while. I think it was 2 drives later. Similar scenario, but to the other side. Quick throw out. No hesitation, jumps in front of the guy, gets the interception. So I thought those was in game within the game stuff that I love watching. And you could see it in real time if you happen to watch him come to the sideline like I do, because that's what I do when I'm at games. I'm watching weird things, y'all. So I saw him like hesitate, saw him on the sideline, saw him get coached up, and saw him get the interception. I love that, Tyler. So shout out Ameir Boyd for taking coaching and getting it done. And then injury updates. If you're on the internet, you probably already know this, hopefully, but if you're still freaking out, Baron Morton did get hurt in that game.
Yes.
Did not look good. Looked
Mm-mm.
really bad when it happened. He stayed in, handed the ball off. Was the hurdle touchdown from Jacoby on that play. He didn't return to the game after that. Was pretty gimpy on the sidelines, even in the second half when he was in street clothes. Just could tell he wasn't walking right. But Joey said today in the press conference that happened just about an hour ago, if y'all saw and watched it, it was ugly. His saving grace was his ankle turned that kept the pressure from going up his leg to his knee. The x-rays and MRI came back negative. It's more muscle soreness. So I think it's just some muscle soreness and some swelling. He went on to say if Barron feels 100% on Saturday, they would play him. But it's just a matter of if he'll get there. My gut says he probably doesn't play on Saturday, but that's just literally my gut thing. I just told you what Joey McGuire said himself, so go by that. I just don't know why you would send the guy out there if he doesn't have 100% mobility, but I suppose that's what Joey said. It's like, if he's 100%, he'll play. If he's not, I tend to think Will Hammond will get the start, because why? We'll preview Kent State on Friday, but there's no reason. I think I could go out there, and that's probably harsh, but me in my prime, I think I could have gone out there and slung it around a little bit as a quarterback and maybe got us a win. No, they're not that bad, but it's a team you should beat. And Will is obviously a very good quarterback, as we saw when he came in too. So that's your update on Baron Morton. Markel Dingle, not as great. There wasn't an official he's done update. I don't think those exact words came out, but if you saw the injury, it didn't look good. Knee injury, and Joey, he's not on the depth chart that came out today. So that's usually a sign. And then Joey was talking about players that could maybe replace him or be depth players at that position behind John Curry at star. So I hate that for him. He's had injuries throughout his career here, and he just can't seem to stay healthy. I guess the one saving grace is it happened in the first game, so he can redshirt now and get this year back, hopefully. But yeah, that was tough. An official injury report will come out on Wednesday. Those used to come out on Monday as well, but now there's this 2-day waiting period because the Big 12 changed their rules. So formality, I don't expect to see him the rest of the year. So hate that for him. They put a lot of work in. We talked about that with soccer players and stuff too. You hate to see injuries happen, but prayers up for him. He'll be all right. Comeback coming if it looks like how it looks like, comeback season coming up next year for him.
For sure. Yeah, it definitely sucked that we had to go through injuries in this game, because obviously that's not what you want. You just want to be able to play everybody and try to get through cleanly, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So yeah, prayers up to him, and then also hopefully Morton is able to get back to himself. But obviously, if he's not 100%, I also agree, let's not push it on Saturday, because Hammond had himself a game anyway. I mean,
That's
if you saw that
right
64-yard run touchdown, I mean, that was insane. Wheels, yes. 7 completions, 92 yards. I mean, he was very impressive. So I think that this team, we always talk about how this team has a lot of depth in a lot of places, other than just a few positions. So I think that so far we're doing all right. But it just sucks that those injuries happen, because these guys obviously wanted to be part of a special season. They still are, but they'll just be having to do it from the sidelines, coaching up their teammates and things like that.
Yep, for sure. Real quickly, we'll end this out with some old PFF grades for the people that like that kind of stuff. You can find them if you subscribe to that website. If you want to see them in full, I'm sure they're going to put out links. I think Red River Sports put out an article, so if you're a subscriber there, you can look at those too. But just a few high notes from that. Baron Morton graded out the highest of anybody on offense, I believe, as a starter, at least 86.1, 4 touchdowns and 200 yards. That's going to happen. Terrence Carter was right behind him at 81.7. He also graded the highest any skill position player in run blocking. We talked about last week. He was taking more pride in run blocking in the offseason. He was proud of the growth he had there. You saw it. He was just murdering people 7 yards down the field if you watch the game, just pancaking folks. He 84.5 grade there. Reggie Virgil was the highest receiver at 76.1, although Leighton Stone, who's not on the list because he only played only had 5 snaps, had the second highest grade of anyone on the team behind Morton at 84.3, just in 5 snaps though. So shout out Leighton.
Wow.
That would happen when you play 5 snaps and you score on one of them. That's why I take these kind of grades with a grain of salt. Cam Dickey 71, Jacob Ponton for your offensive line was the highest at 72.3. On the defensive side, Skyler Gill-Howard, unsurprisingly, was the highest on defense. The guy had a game, 91.4. Romello Height was very close. He was very disruptive as well. 90.5. J-Rod, Jacob Rodriguez, 87.3. Ben Roberts right there behind him. David Bailey, 79. John Curry, 74. Bryce Pollock was the highest corner, 71. The list goes on. Again, you can go find those and dig into them. I might be putting out an article or thread soon to dive into it more because some people are confused about PFF grades, and I am a nerd, as you know, if you watch our show. But if this is your first time watching our show, just know I don't like to question things. So I was looking at PFF grades this summer and this doesn't make sense. So I did a deep dive on it to so I could understand it. And I think people get confused because they see Lee Hunter, who's a big pickup for us, Cole Wisnowski, had a 65. Lee had a 64, and people are like, oh my God, they didn't grade it well. No, because they're thinking of grades in school where a 70 would be a pass fail. With PFF, just know that 60 is considered average. So while they were not getting 90 grades, they didn't do anything spectacular. They were still above average at 65 and 64.
Okay.
There was only 2 players listed in this article for us that were below average in this game. The way they do it is and then in this game, they didn't play a lot of snaps. This team's terrible. So, Cole didn't even get a lot of chances either. So, if nothing happens near you, you just get a 0. If something bad happens, you go down. If you have a chance to make a play and you do, you go +2 or whatever. So, the chances he got to make a play, he went up. But he just didn't have a lot of chances in layman's terms. That's really basic. But anyway, just take that for what it is. They're fun to look into. I think full season grades are really what matters. After one game, it's hard to take much away from it. But
for sure,
the defense looked good, and those grades are high. I'm sure PFF will put out the top defensive grades and stuff at some point on Twitter. That'll be interesting to see, where kind of Skyler Gill and Romello, who are both in the 90s, which is really good when average is 60. So yeah, there's your nerdy talk, stat talk. We'll probably get into more of that as it grows.
Yeah, hopefully, obviously, all these guys are going to be their scores are going to go way up once we start, playing actual
they just need
opponents.
more chances.
Yeah, more chances.
Both of our safeties, I think Brendan Jordan was about 70 and Cole was 65. They didn't have a lot of what was going on back there. The guy couldn't get the ball off. And both times they had a chance. Brendan, he broke down, almost had an interception, pass deflection. Cole broke down and forced a fumble in the game. We didn't recover it, but he forced it, so he got credit for that. They're fine.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. It's just hard to take much away because the opponent wasn't great, and I'm just being honest. So, yeah. Any other football thoughts before we move on?
Yeah, I'm just super excited. I thought that the crowd was insane. Mostly everybody was wearing red. Students really showed out. Matter of fact, we had so many students that some of them couldn't even get in because we were at max capacity. Some of our athletes were the last to get in. I think the softball team was sitting in the grass area, behind the thing, and soccer players were up on the top part of the thing. So they barely made it in, but they still made it in. Yep,
yeah.
I bet, especially for next game.
They might hook you up, but I don't know. Yeah. You're gonna have to call Tyler to get to the gate and let you in.
I know. I'll just be like, all right, show me your credential. No.
Yeah.
Speaking
of softball, shout out them. That was a cool moment. I bet they didn't expect that. But they won the Matador winning moment of the offseason, I guess is what that was, because it was the first game of the year. It was up. Yeah. They were up against the Houston basketball win on the road for men's basketball, and it was a landslide to the softball team beating OU. And I didn't notice it until I had taken a video of the thing when it popped up. I was like, oh, this is cool. So I was videoing it. And then you said that the softball team, I noticed it afterwards. They're in the video that I took of that. So they're all freaking out because they're
really?
Under the video board. And they're all
cool.
Freaking out, pointing at Lauren and stuff. Anyway, so yeah, shout out them. That's always cool. I was just thank you, fans, for recognizing that the biggest moment here is the most historic win in softball history, taking down a dynasty. So shout out them. That was cool.
Yeah, I think that what's it called? So those Matador moments, I think that's the first time that one of our women's sports teams have actually won it or even was up for one of the moments.
Have they been doing that? Surely that's just gonna piss me off. Don't even tell me.
It started I think last year, but usually what they try to do is
Fair.
obviously no team has really played UAPB in a long time, but what they try to do is they try to pick two moments from any sport against that team. So like if we did play
Oh,
UAPB, they'd show like two top moments when we beat UAPB in 2007 and maybe the baseball
gotcha.
team in 2008, and then they compare it. But we didn't have that. So then I guess they just chose two,
Stuff that
random
happened in the
moments. But
last.
yeah, very happy though to see that everybody was
I
loving on the
don't we have the
softball
Kent
team.
State videos
Yeah,
either. So yeah, we'll do our preview of Kent State on the Friday episode. Should be out Friday
for
morning, so
sure.
stay tuned for that. Otherwise, good stuff. Football. They did what they were supposed to do.
Yes.
We've had times
Yes.
where we played FCS schools last year and it didn't go well in the first game of the year. So I think that is progress. We look like a good team.
From the
Just
jump.
need Barron to be healthy
Yes.
and no more injuries. I hate that for Dingle, but hopefully
Hmm.
otherwise we got out mostly unscathed, and some guys should be coming back that missed this game with injury in the next couple of weeks as well. So they're getting reinforcements on that end too.
For sure. Are we ready to go into
Yeah,
volleyball?
you take it away since you
All
got to
right,
watch a
let's
little
take
of the
it
Western
away.
Carolina game.
Yes. So volleyball, obviously, they started their season also this past weekend. They didn't start off the season the way I think that they wanted to, not the way that we were expecting. It was kind of disappointing. So they dropped sets 1, 4, and 5 to Western Carolina. They're able to get They're able to get set 2 and 3, and I really thought that they had a lot of chances in set number 4. I think they said there was like 6 lead changes and 3 ties in set 4. So clearly they had their opportunities and then it just kind of got away from them at the end. And then in set 5, I was watching it and they talk about, how errors is what's going to kill you. I think we had a total of 10 errors in set 5, and then we were eventually down. We let them go on a 7-0 run. We go down 11-4 at one point. We tried to mount a little comeback that we had going, but then we ended up losing 15-9 on that. Western Carolina guys, it's not one of those like sleeper, like volleyball
No, it's
teams
just
that you
a
see.
bad loss. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
it's like
just a bad loss.
San
They went
Francisco
like
in soccer. It's just a bad loss. It happens to
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, I think they went 8-21 last year, and then they ended up getting swept by FAU, who we ended up sweeping later this week. It was just kind of whatever, but I mean, there was some good stat things that you kind of could see, like Reagan Engler, she led in kills with 16. Kendra McKenzie, the freshman from Waco, Texas, that we picked up in the offseason, she had 14 kills. She got second in that. Ashlyn Bellamy had 4 aces. Aaliyah McDonald led with 5 blocks. Not surprising there. Casey Cochran, 24 assists, and then Sierra Grizzle, the new libero from Wyoming, she had 24 digs, and her name came up quite a bit this past weekend. But that's kind of what my takeaways were with Western Carolina. So I think they just had to, I don't know, maybe
9
morning
a.m. is
jitters.
tough, and then they
It is.
had, if you're trying to give them excuses, there's no excuse if you want to be a good team to lose a team, but it happens. They're young. They played at 9 a.m. That was like there's like 9 true freshmen on the team, so that was their first ever college match
Yep.
as well. So there's no true seniors and all the things. That's probably what was going on there. But to learn their lesson and bounce back later. I mean, Reagan Engler talked about in our interview with her that trust was like the number one thing on this team, and she specifically said like you're gonna make mistakes in volleyball, you're gonna lose matches in volleyball, and having trust is that's where that comes into play because otherwise you start pointing fingers at each other and it's early, but they had a chance to test that one match in and they bounced back. And FAU, we said that last week, is typically a solid volleyball program. They're really good at sand volleyball given their location, but they take the sport seriously over there, beach town as it is. So yeah, that's a good win for them to go ahead and bounce back and get FAU. And then I guess they did play Kent State, so maybe they'll show the Kent State highlights at the football game. They took care of Kent State to close it out. In that last game, yeah, I think I tweeted out the total leaders, but like Reagan Engler led them in kills on the weekend. Another transfer, Peyton Dunn, led them in assists on the whole weekend, and then Sierra Grizzle led them in digs. I'm not sure who led them in blocks, but I would guess it's looking at
Aaliyah,
this Aaliyah
probably.
McDonald, who's very good. She was a former transfer from Oregon State. So yeah, hopefully we get to watch them more. I don't have Flow Sports, so I didn't get to watch them at all. I just saw the highlights the team was putting out here or there. So it's hard to have like any grand takeaways because I don't want to say like, oh, this was going on, because I didn't
Right.
watch them. You're just looking at stats, but I like the bounce back. That's a solid sign. So now we get to see how they go up against some power conference teams in Duke on Wednesday at 5, in Georgia on Thursday at 6. I hope those are on ESPN Plus, maybe. Peru's game.
Hopefully.
It's in Athens, Georgia. Georgia's hosting a tournament, and they play some other random team as well. On probably Friday or something. There's a third team involved in that, South Alabama or something like that.
Alabama State, I think.
Alabama State. There you go. So they play
Yes.
them on one of those days as well. So they'll have another 3 matches away. And we'll recap those the next time we see you, Friday. Perhaps we'll let you know what happened in those. Hopefully it's 2 dubs, Tyler. Big time
Yeah.
stuff.
2 power conference wins is going to be
Never
very
a bad
beneficial
thing.
for this team. Yes, especially since the Big 12 is shaping to look to be very, 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 very tough this year. I watched Arizona State beat number 2 Penn State, the reigning champs, last
Yeah.
night. It was insane.
The
Very
Big
insane.
12
We have to
is
go
a
to Arizona, so
very good. That's what
yes.
and we talked about that with Reagan too. And like they know the players know that. And so like I know casuals be like, yeah, we're always like middle to lower in the conference. And that's true in recent years, but like the Big 12 is really good. So you like it's
Very good.
relative to like
Yes.
other conferences. Like it's hard to compete in this conference. And so getting a couple of power conference dubs, maybe that'll give them a little confidence if they can get it done. We'll see. We'll tune in. Won't be able to watch the Thursday one because that's at the same time as well. Soccer's on the road, so yeah. I was thinking I'll just have to be at the stadium, but we can catch both because soccer's late, as we're about to get into. Yeah. Any last thoughts on volleyball? Go do the damn thing, gals. Keep working. Looking forward to maybe actually getting to watch you this week. Please not Flow Sports.
Yes. No,
Otherwise,
I agree.
Tyler's got to handle it because he has a subscription or through work or whatever.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, I just like the bounce back though, like you said. I mean, if it makes you feel better, Western Carolina lost to FAU, got swept, and we ended up
Yeah.
sweeping FAU. So I guess it balances out. I guess I don't
By
know.
the
Hopefully,
laws of math,
right, right.
we
The
actually
math
beat
gets it.
Western Carolina.
Right. Yes. But yeah, go get them this weekend. Get some big wins, and hopefully, yeah, we have a very positive recap, and we can watch and see this new young team do their thing.
Let's go. Soccer recap or soccer preview to round out this show. Again, if you're like, where's the soccer recap? Again, new thing. Go back 1 episode. We already did that on the Friday morning episode where they beat SMU last week. So they got right back on track themselves. Bounce back win against SMU. Now they have a chance to go on the road and get that road loss taste out of their mouth to New Mexico State on Thursday. I believe it's a late-ish game because Mountain Time, I think maybe 8.
Yeah, it's 8.
Central.
Yeah, 8. It is.
I don't know. The last time I looked on the schedule, there was not a stream link, but surely there is eventually.
I would hope.
Whatever they're in, the WAC. Hopefully, we'll find some stream link and put it out there. Hopefully, we'll be able to watch it. Last time we played there, I remember watching them, unless that was New Mexico. Anyway, they're like 1-4 on the year right now. I think something like that. Their record, but don't be tricked by that. They're a good soccer program. They just won the WAC a couple of years ago. Last year, I think maybe they finished 3rd, but they had some key injuries, and those people are back this year. I watched a little of their game that happened last night with Arizona State, and they're a salty team. That was probably their best performance of the year because they only lost 1-0. To at least for a power conference team. I think they played 2 teams that weren't power conferences, and they've beat up on them. But we will be their 5th Power 4 opponent in a row. They're basically playing a power conference of schedule right now. It's crazy. They were pretty salty in this game. I don't know if they always play this way, but they were very direct. Like they were taking chances trying to beat Arizona State's back line kind of over the top. Their center back came all the way up from the back to like dribbled it all the way up on one chance and took a shot. And I was like, oh, hey. And she's a 4th-year player, has pretty much started every game. So I think they're susceptible maybe on the outsides on the back line, at least my novice take. Like seeing that's where Arizona State was beating them. She's pretty stout in the middle and knows what she's doing, a lot of experience. And then they also have, similar to us, where we have the all-time leader in assists on our team in program history in Macy Blackburn. They have, I'm forgetting her first name, but Chacon is her name. She missed last year, but she's back this year. She's 2nd all-time in assists at New Mexico State. She had 7 assists in a season back in 2023 when they won the conference. She's pretty fun. I saw her making some good passes and stuff at the top. She's a midfielder, I believe. So they have some good players, and yeah, they're not going to be scared, I guess is the big part, because they've been playing good teams. I mean, Arizona, Colorado, Arizona State. They also played. Did they play Stanford? USC.
Number 5 USC. Yes.
They played number 5 USC, and they got blown out by most of those teams until the Arizona State one. But the speed of the game, the athletes, like that's who they've been playing I mean, they played a harder schedule than we have. You know what I mean? So like they're ready for it, right? From that standpoint, so the team will have to be up for that, and they definitely can't sleep on them, especially on their home field. You're gonna have to travel up there. Good coach who's been there for 7 or 8 years. They're always usually competing to get in the tournament out of that thing, and very experienced. They don't. I think they only have one transfer on this team. That's what they were saying last
Oh,
night, which
wow.
is weird in this day and age. Very build locally. A lot of local New Mexico players or a lot of El Paso players, which is basically in Las Cruces, New Mexico, right across the border. So everyone's kind of local and they like to build from within. So I respect that. And again, yeah, just can't sleep on them. They're not a bad team when I watched them. I mean, Arizona State's not a high team in the Big 12, although they're off to their best start in school history. I think they're undefeated, but
Oh,
still, they're not maybe. And New Mexico State didn't look out of place from when I watched them. They just couldn't quite find the goal, but defensively they held Arizona State down. So we'll see. Gonna have to bring it for sure. We'll see if
yeah.
Sam Courtride's back playing and we have our full
Oh,
group out there. Still no update on Chloe Yopich, but as we kind of said on Friday, I would not expect to see her, but prayers up to her. But we'll see. She left Thursday's game injured.
yeah. Hopefully we can get Sam back in it, and really just take control, right? I think this is kind of redemption from San Francisco game show that we can get this on the road after a big win against SMU. Just looking at Massey ratings, he moved us up 6 spots. We jumped up to number 25 after that SMU win, so that helped us out a lot. Also, probably some craziness that was happening above us as well. They're giving us a 75% chance to win, a 2-1 final score prediction. I have a feeling we'll shut them out. I don't really believe that. I also have a feeling we'll get more than 2 goals. So that's my guru, whatever sense on
You
that.
let them know, Massey.
Yes.
Raw.
New Mexico State, again, they're like ranked number 181 and we're ranked number 25. But as far as strength and schedule wise, obviously we blow them out of the water in offense and defense. But strength and schedule wise, they have a 31 and we have an 86. So we told y'all they've been playing some hard teams. They're also not really in a very strong conference. So that non-con is really carrying that rating for them. So that just shows how much tough opponents they've played. So they're going to come ready to play. It's definitely the energy needs to be there for us. Hopefully, it just being like, our first game since like last Thursday and just going on the road after getting settled in this past week. Hopefully, we shouldn't have any energy or attitude or any of those issues that we kind of saw a little bit in San Francisco. We'll
Yeah.
come prepared.
Yeah, they've already had that wake up call. They can't. That's why they shouldn't sleep on them. But yeah, we'll see. I like that. Let's score more. I don't really care. Just get the win. But we'll let
True.
Tyler have his thing. No, it's always good to maybe start stacking some shutouts. Get that confidence
Yes.
going for the defense, the back line, and Faith. She'll have her moments to stand tall in this, I bet. But yeah, go do the dang thing, soccer. I'm excited. On the road, get to watch it, and then they're off on Sunday, so it's another week where they only have one game, which is well deserved, and then they'll play the Sunday after, right? So
Yes.
next week we won't have a game to recap on the Monday episode either, and then I guess we'll preview the Sunday game. We'll figure out what we're gonna do with soccer because they won't play again until Sunday against Utah State at home. But go ahead and get your tickets and plan to be at John Walker on September 14th because that is a revenge game, a good soccer program. I haven't paid attention to how they're doing, but we'll do a recap. But they're usually pretty salty and they play a tough non-con as well. So
Yes.
yeah, go team, hoorah!
Let's do it.
Yeah, I don't think we're ranked today in top drawer rankings either, but we only played one game, SMU. So we'll see if they put us back in, or maybe I could see us maybe receiving votes in the official one that comes out tomorrow. Top drawer doesn't do the whole receiving votes thing because it's just them. But I could see us maybe have eked back up into receiving votes territory in the NCAA one that comes out on Tuesdays. So there you go, team. Alrighty. Anything else, Tyler? Any other sports? I know cross country's back underway. All the things. Any other final shout outs, takeaways, marketing things? There's only one home game in town this week, and that's football. So it's probably not a lot going on for you guys, I guess.
Yeah, no, not much going on, but you can go ahead and get prepared for the football game. There's only 500 tickets left. Go
Oh,
buy
okay.
them.
That's
White out. I
an
know for an 11
11 a.m.
a.m. Yep.
Damn.
White out game. Wear white. It's to celebrate agriculture game, cotton, all of
Okay.
that. So yeah, get prepared already. I'll tell y'all again on Thursday's show, but just be prepared for that.
There you go. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, share with your friends, throw down a comment, whatever. Tell us questions. I don't care. Just say hey. Just say Raider, and I'll yell back power. Whatever you want to do. We're here for it. Vibes. And we'll see you on Friday morning to recap the soccer game on Thursday night. We'll be up late that night, but it's fine. And any volleyball that happened, and then preview Saturday's football game. Let's go. All right.
Let's
I know
do
y'all
it.
are looking forward to the Kent State preview. Very important things are going to come out in that episode. Can't miss it. Absolutely cannot miss it. So I don't know how the team's going to prepare without our scouting report on Kent State.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
but we're going to make sure we get it to them by Friday morning. So any
For
last
sure.
minute
Yes.
stuff, they're prepared. They're ready to go. Because I know Joey's like, oh, we can't plan our game until we watch Seeing Scarlet. That's what's happening. So bet. All right, team. You already said predictions 2-0. Is that what you said for soccer? We'll see if you're right. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Oh, I've said 4-0. I'm
4-0.
going big.
Okay.
Yeah,
we
let's
beat them
do it.
5-0 the last time we played them, I believe, in 2023.
We did. Yes.
4-0 from Tyler. I don't like to do predictions. We're gonna win, so we'll let Tyler handle that. All right. See y'all.
I'll take the heat. Wreck 'em.
Wreck 'em.